President Trump surrounded by athletes, signing an executive order expanding his Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition Council, including reestablishing the presidential fitness test. And one of the guys in the room, former Texas Tech University and Indianapolis Colts player, although I would suggest at this point in his career, that's one of the minor points in the chair of the Texas Tech Board of Regents and co-chair of Double Eagle, Cody Campbell, maintains on his resume. Cody, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You were up there, though, with some big-time names, and I was disappointed. Were you disappointed? I mean, he didn't give you the mic, Cody.
Well, I think that I was certainly the least among us in terms of being an athlete, but I think, you know, the reason I'm there and the thing that I bring to the table here is my passion for college sports and my focus on trying to fix the problems that have emerged there, and I'm very grateful for the president giving me the opportunity to be involved with it, and very grateful for the fact that he's interested in college sports and understands the importance that they play in this country to 500,000 student athletes, the opportunities that they provide for education, for social mobility, and you know we have to figure out a way to fix these problems, or else a lot of those sports are going to go away. You know, so much focus has been placed on NIL, the transfer portal, on football, on men's basketball, on the big high-profile sports and the big high-profile schools. But what we've forgotten about is the fact that the sports that are really at the most risk are the women's sports and the Olympic sports. And the president understands that. And so part of the task of this council is to solve those problems and you know, work with Congress and you know, find solutions to these issues that are a serious threat to the culture that this country cares so much about.
Well, Cody, you might not be as well known as Bryson DeChambeau or Triple H, but I will tell you this. In the past month in my life, your name has come up much, much more than any of those guys, even Bryson DeChambeau. You keep coming up. Now, listen, I'm a Longhorn fan, so you go ahead and you get Felix Ojo to go to Texas Tech and play offensive line, or you get a pitcher from Stanford to take you to the Women's College World Series, and people start understanding and perking up as to why. I've even said to my boys, hey, I think you need to consider Texas Tech. They're about to be good at every sport, and I think that's because of you, Cody.
Well, I'll forgive you for being a Longhorn first. That's just fine. You know, I have a lot of Longhorn friends, but if your kids are interested in Texas Tech, we can get a great tour set up for them and welcome them with open arms in Lubbock. But yeah, you know, I understand the system very well. I understand how we got to the place that we've gotten, and I know that it's not good. And you know, while my alma mater has done a great job of capitalizing on the opportunity that's come through this chaos, I know that ultimately the demise of college sports is what's in store. And so, you know, there are real solutions to the problems. And, you know, I'm just so grateful again that the president is taking a leadership role in this and stepping forward and providing guidance and direction in terms of how we can fix this problem. Because, again, college sports provide a life-changing opportunity to kids that you never do see on TV, you never even hear of. Plus, it's vital to our Olympic development program. And so, you know, we have to find a way to fix it, and we will. And, you know, we're not going to stop until we do.
Okay, I want to pick your brain on that for a moment. For anyone who's watching or listening that doesn't understand the references I just made, Texas Tech has invested very heavily in getting athletes, and we should say in all sports, women's softball, not just football, and you're getting a lot of really great athletes to go to Texas Tech, and it's working. But you pointed out the system isn't working. Let's talk about the cost for a minute. You've alluded to it for several times now, and the president mentioned it as well. If all this revenue being generated is justly or unjustly, mostly justly, going to football players who produce the revenue, that does deprive the non-revenue generating sports of their funding. And so that is our Olympic system sports, that is women's sports. There's only two sports that generate revenue, and it's primarily one. That's football, a little bit of basketball. So what is the cost if we don't figure this out? Do we see colleges just get rid? Look, I played college water polo. It doesn't generate revenue. But are we looking at all these sports going away if we don't figure this out?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the most recent big change was the House v. NCAA settlement, which created a salary cap to be paid out to the players. And even since that salary cap kicked in on July the 1st, you know, less than a month ago now, we've seen 178 programs canceled. And that doesn't even include all the reductions in budgets, the reductions in scholarships, reductions in roster numbers that we've seen in the non-revenue sports and the women's sports, the Olympic sports. And so that's the real concern here, is that if we over-professionalize the system, if we don't make some meaningful changes and we don't look at this as a business problem, which that's ultimately what it is, we're going to lose a huge part of what America is and what makes America great. Again, appreciative of the president for understanding this. You know, he's one of the few people that I've talked to in Washington that understood it just like that. He said, you know, look, there's not enough money to pay the athletes like we're paying them and fund the women's sports and the Olympic sports. And so that's fundamentally the problem that we have to solve. Sure, there are a lot of complicated legal issues that go along with it, but we have to solve that business issue, and I think that's why he brought me on board, even though I'm not nearly as accomplished as an athlete as the other folks that were on the stage today, but you know, have done a lot of work and care deeply about ensuring that we preserve this great American system.
Well, you keep humbling yourself. I would love to have you back for a much longer conversation, Cody, because I actually think your business and life story is much more fascinating than had you ended up a 10-year veteran of offensive line in the NFL. What you've done, what you've created, and the way you're turning that into what you're doing in the state of Texas is worthy of its own conversation. I hope you'll give me that time someday, because I'm filled with curiosity. But I do wonder...
happy to come back anytime.
I do wonder, though, Cody, and I think you're right, probably nobody knows more about this than you. I wonder if it can be fixed. I'm a huge college sports fan. I'm a huge sports guy. It feels like the horse is not only out of the barn, but it's ran all the way across the pasture. It's gone. And I don't know how you reel this back in where, you know, what athletes are getting paid, the freedom to transfer, and so forth can ever be made back into anything but chaotic.
I'm 100% confident that it can be fixed. But what it's going to take is the entire system setting aside our tribalism, our selfish, you know, self-interest, and working together for the greater good of the entire college sports system, recognizing how important it is to this country. But yeah, there are certainly solutions that can fix the problem, and there are a number of them. There are a bunch of different ways that it can be approached. You know, we're studying those, we're working on those, but the great thing, again, is that the president is showing leadership on this, and, you know, we'll be working with Congress to find those solutions, and you know, I'm confident that we will get the problem solved and we will save college sports.
Okay. I'm going to force you to accept that invitation, which you just did on TV. So I'd love to have a longer conversation with you. Thanks for spending time with us today. Congratulations being up there with the president. Glad the presidential fitness test is coming back. I'll take you on in a flex arm hang challenge whenever you want.
You got it.
Okay. Cody Campbell.
All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.